Let's see, I'm sort of going to get started. Um, let's see, I'm Kellen. Most of you already know me. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Again, nervous to be in Zoom for the first time, so thank you all for bearing with me. If you have any problems or if I cut out, let me know, and I will try to take care of those issues. Let's see here. Right now, you should be able to see my screen where I'm sharing my little presentation here. I'm going to jump right in. Let's see if it'll let me. There we go. All right. So in this class, which I apologize, I had the timing wrong in the initial email. We're actually going until 5:30. If for any reason you can't stick along, feel free to drop out whenever you need to. Again, I'm recording this. You'll get a full recorded copy sent to you. So don't panic. You can't stay the full time. I'm going to leave that last half hour or so open for questions. And I'm also now not panicking that I won't be able to get through everything. So in this class, the main topics we're going to cover is building a posting schedule. That's how I don't spend every single day posting on social media. I like to get a whole month's done in just a couple hours, maybe 2 days in the whole month. I'm going to go over creating content and creating an upload schedule. I included this image because this is how I feel when I don't have a content schedule. When I'm sitting and trying to decide every single day what to post on social media, and I'm looking through all of my folders and photos and trying to come up with captions in the moment. And this is what it starts to feel like after a while. And when I feel like this, I end up just not posting at all. And I think this is something we can all relate to. So the method I'm going to share to you today, it's my method that I use to make my brain go from feeling like this to feeling more like this, so that I have my content ideas and plan somewhat organized and I'm not panicking every single day. So that's the goal for me, is to sort of help get you organized in what you're going to post so you're not panicking every time you think about posting something. And if you can get one meaningful thing from this to take away and use in the future, I will be very glad and think that that is successful. There's a lot I'm going to throw at you today. I don't expect you to absorb every single thing. So one of the most common questions that people are asking me is, what do I post? Or they say, I go to post on Instagram and I don't know what to share. So very simply, who, what, where, when, why. If you start by answering those questions, you're already going to have a ton of content just by answering those questions with your posts. So here I tailored it to us as artists. So answering, who are you? What are you making? Why are you making it? How are you making it? When are you showing it? And where are you selling it? If you're answering these questions through your social media, then you're always going to have content, and you're showing people where to find your art, who you are, what you're making. So now I'm going to jump right into creating that content. Everyone in their email got a copy of this guy here, which I'm going to flip over this tab, a content checklist. What I did here is I made a list for you, sort of cheat sheet based on who, what, where, when, why. You can organize photos and videos or go out on a scavenger hunt and take these photos and videos and then put them in a folder in your phone or on your computer. And then again, when you go to post, you're not sort of panicked. What am I going to post? Oh, I have to make a video. Then I have to take some pictures. You don't have to set up like a photo shoot every single time you want to post something on Instagram. You're doing it all at once and maybe spending an hour or two doing it. And this content can get you through a whole month, if not 2 months. So there's your little cheat sheet. And then from my cheat sheet, excuse me, I'm going to go, let me get back to my window here, to building a schedule. So another thing you guys got in your folder and is also in the Instagram cookbook, I know a lot of you picked that up for me, thank you, is a blank Instagram schedule. I've used many different methods over the last couple of years, and this is the one that I keep going back to keep myself the most organized. Again, it's not science, so you don't have to do it exactly like this, but this is just the way that I have found most helpful. So I have the month here, so September, and then each day of the week listed below, along with the day of the month. And then for each month, I just reorganized, the days and numbers, so they're all correct. The next column is going to be the time of day. The next column next to that, I called a pillar. These are what you hear people call content pillars. This is going to be our who, what, where, when, why, how. Type is going to be the type of content you're posting. So if it's a reel, if it's a photo, or if it's a collection of photos. Your content is going to be what the image, you're going to describe what the image is, and then there's a place here to put your actual caption. So the first thing on this, if we're going to fill out our whole schedule here, the first thing we have to decide is what time of day. In order to decide what time of day I'm posting, I'm going to go into my Instagram account, and this is all assuming you have a professional Instagram account, because I'm going to go into my analytics. So here's my Instagram account. Oh, this is my phone screen over here. I figured out how to link my phone to my computer, but I'm navigating it on my phone. So when I'm working on Instagram, I'm mostly using the app on my phone. So this here. And then everything else I'm using Google Drive or Canva on my computer. So most of the time when I'm creating and posting content, I'm at my computer with my phone next to me. That's and you can also see my stepson texting me, so that's fun. All right, so I'm on my phone. I'm going to go to my professional dashboard, over to my followers, and I'm going to time of day. So at the very bottom of this screen, I can see the most active times of day. The first thing I want to decide is how many times a week do I want to post, and that is completely up to you. And how much content you want to create and what type of growth you want to see on Instagram. If you want to maximize your growth, the easiest way to do that is to post every single day. But that is a lot of work and a lot of writing and a lot of photos and a lot of videos. To keep content consistent, I recommend no less than once or twice a week. I like to do 3 times a week. I find that to be quite manageable. So I'm looking at my most active times, and if you click on one of these columns, it'll tell me how many of my followers are online at the time listed below here. So on Sunday, my peak time, I would pick 12 p.m. Monday, I have even more people at noon. So I'm just clicking through days of the week. 153 is noon. And looking for where are most of my followers, when are they online. So just roughly looking at this and not actually sitting down with the numbers, I'm going to pick 3 days. And I'm going to cheat because I did this earlier. I'm like Martha Stewart with her pie already coming out of the oven. I filled this out earlier. So I picked earlier the peak times a day were Monday at 3 p.m., Tuesday at noon, and Thursday at 3. And what I did on my little column here with the blank sheet is I just filled in under my time 3 p.m., noon, and 3 p.m. And then I copy and paste it for the rest of the month. And then on the days that I'm not posting, I highlight that column and I fill it in gray because that day no longer matters to me and I don't want to see it and be overwhelmed by all this blank space that I need to fill. So that's how I set up this first column, which is the time. And that once it's filled out, you're going to have this. Now the next column I'm going to go to is the pillar. So that's your who, what, why, how, when. And very simply, I just went and typed in who, how, what, all the way down this list until I had that completely fit out. This is my next pie in the oven. Here's the finished one. Continuing down the list to type. You could decide that you want to put, so reels usually are the best way to reach new followers. I would recommend putting a reel on your absolute highest viewer day. However, I'm not going to go into all the technicality of that. And I just picked, photo, reel, carousel. Filled in the whole column all the way down until it's all completed like this. And now I'm going to start plugging in the content. So now I'm looking at my schedule, and instead of having to decide every single day, what am I going to post, I start to have the pieces put together here. So on Monday, September 1st at 3 p.m., I'm going to post a photo that answers the question, who am I? So a lot of the work of trying to think of something is already done just by creating this schedule. And then I'm going to go to my, let's see, I have to see. Yep. So I'm going to go to my little checklist here, which I have to pull back up. And for content, I'm just going to copy and paste the photos that I took into my content. So it won't really let me do it very well here. Let's see. And I put them in order so that if you are making this exact list, you can copy and paste your content checklist directly into your schedule, and then it will look like this. So assuming that you took all the pictures and videos on your content checklist, now in your phone will be a photo of you in your studio. So on Monday the 1st at 3 p.m., you're going to take that photo and you're going to post that. Now to write a caption, we're zooming through this. To write a caption, we're going to take a side road and talk about ChatGPT for just a moment. I do almost all of my caption writing in ChatGPT. However, there are a couple things you need to know about ChatGPT before just opening it and asking it to do some writing for you. And one of the pieces of content that I sent you was a ChatGPT explainer. What this document is it tells you what ChatGPT is and what ChatGPT is not. Try saying ChatGPT 5 times in a row. Well, this is really good to read through just so you know what its limitations are. ChatGPT can be customized, however, it doesn't have a long-term memory. You have to sort of restart in every conversation. So I included on the second page of the document I sent you some prompts that you can type into ChatGPT to help it write some captions for you. When I use ChatGPT to write, I like to think of it as my assistant who will write a first draft that I then review. I am never going to publish that first draft. My assistant is a high school intern and maybe not the best writer ever. That's the assistant I'm working with. I'm never going to fully trust the information in that to be correct. I'm always going to put second eyes on it. It has to be put through my own vision and editing. That is very important. However, it's a great place to start getting ideas and to build a first draft. So I created a document with my sample text. So I said, learn about artists, and I filled in my name. I filled in my artist statement. A great thing to do is just some stream of consciousness writing. If you want to train it in your writing style, you can write a couple paragraphs to a page and add that in the sample text. I filled in my goal for Instagram and gave it a couple of things like no hashtags and no emojis. Now I'm going to copy this and go over to ChatGPT and add this in to my prompt. I do pay for the ChatGPT subscription, so there are some extra features like extra memory that I get. However, the free one works very well for first drafts. So it already got busy writing some captions, even though I didn't ask it to. But it took all of this and entered it into our memory. Excuse me, I have to let my dog in. She's growling at the door. Come on. She doesn't want to come in. She just doesn't want the door to close. Okay. So now that I have all of this into here and ChatGPT is going to write in my voice, I'm going back to my schedule. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm writing, sorry, come on, inside, in. I'm going to write a caption for a photo of me that hits all of my Instagram goals. When I'm writing a caption for Instagram, where am I? Here we go. I'm thinking about using SEO, which means search engine optimized text. So Instagram used to use hashtags to group content into categories. Now they use more like Google does, where it scans the text for keywords and groups it that way. So you want to have captions that speak about things that you are trying to draw people to. So you'll notice captions getting longer, using more descriptive text. That's because you are trying to hit search engine optimization. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, my gosh, it needs a new name, to write me a caption. Voice of Kellen. So it's going to give me a first draft of a caption. This is where I'll go through and decide whether or not I like what this says or if I want to edit it. And when I am happy with what I like, I'll copy it and I will paste it. Where is my other little draft? Into my schedule. So here I pasted it right into this caption portion of my schedule. And then I would just go all the way down my list for each piece of content that I'm creating and fill in the caption into this field here. All of this before I've even really gone to the Instagram app. Now I'm going to go over to using Instagram on my phone, and I'm going to find and save some audios. Because when I'm posting things on Instagram, another key feature of Instagram is using their audios, because that's a way that they share and promote content. So you always like to, if you can, include an audio clip in your either a carousel or your reel. What I recommend doing is if you click on, over here on my phone now, if you click on this little play button, you're going to see my algorithm, which is a little bit scary. But you can start to go through and actually look at videos, and I'm going to get out of there because of the sound. Go through and view videos on the app and actually interact with it, because then you'll start to see patterns occurring. So people using the same audios over and over, and that'll key you into what's trending. And if you see the same thing being used over and over, use it in your content. Also, if something is being shown to you and you're your target audience as an artist and you want to reach maybe other artists, that's a good indicator that that audio is being pushed out to people. So I sent myself a reel here just to show you as an example. Bear with me with the sound. Down here, you can see I knew how to pause. Okay, mute. That's good. All right, so down here you can see the name of the account. Below that, scrolling is the name of the audio. This little upward arrow means that audio is trending. Trending audio means it's good, you want to use it. You click on this line, that will take you to the audio page. From here, I click this little like ribbon icon. That means save to Instagram. So I click that save icon. About once a month, I'll go through and I'll save as many audios as I can in 30 minutes that I like, just so I have them saved. So when I'm making content, I don't get distracted scrolling and trying to find something. Again, I don't want the messy, disorganized desk. I want to streamline it. So I'm going to save my audios. From here, I'm going to start actually creating my posts. So let's go to pull out my phone. There's a bit of a lag on the screen. I apologize. Let's see. Here we go. Hi, Nick. All right, so I open up the Instagram app. I'm going to click this little plus button down at the bottom here, and that's going to take me to creating my new posts. This is over on my phone, is what I'm looking at. In front of me on my computer, I'm going to look at my schedule. This is going to tell me, this is my roadmap of what I'm doing. So the first post I'm going to create is this photo of me in my studio. So I made a folder on my phone called To Post, and this is where I put all of the images that I gathered from my checklist of content. So photo of me in my studio, there I am. I'm going to select the photo. I'm going to hit next. If I wanted to add an audio to this, I'm going to tap the little button at the bottom that says audio. Here's where I go to saved, and the cranberries that we were just listening to, I'm going to tap on that. Now it's there. I'm going to hit next. And this is something that I normally don't do. Normally, I would, on my phone, go back and forth to this spreadsheet and copy my caption directly from the spreadsheet and then paste it directly into the add caption box. But it looks like because I'm actually able to use my phone on my computer, maybe I can do it here. No such luck. All right. So what I do is I open up my Google Sheets, because that's where I created the schedule. I'm going to go over to my post. Copy the text for my caption. Maybe. Go back to Instagram and paste. Now, this post is for Monday, September 1st at 3 p.m. Today is not that day. So the next step I'm going to do is schedule my post. So I'm scrolling down beneath everything to more options. I'm going to hit OK, that's not relevant, and tap schedule post. Here I'm going to now select Monday, September 1st, 3 p.m. and hit schedule. Sometimes it takes a few minutes, but you can see it says my post is scheduled for 3 p.m. I'm going to come back over here. Now I have a new tab that popped up next to the post that says scheduled, where I can see the posts that are coming up. This way I can go through. So now I'm going back to my little spreadsheet here, and I'm going to mark that one green because it's done. And I'm going to go to the next one, which is on Tuesday at noon. And the content subject was a video about what? So a video of me working. And there's my caption. So I'm going back to my folder again. to post. Oopsies. This time I'm looking for a short video of me in my studio. And I know I had one I was going to use. I'll do a couple so you can see how I edit the videos in the reel. So I'm going to select this video here. If I swipe up, I am shown, let's see, there's a bit of a lag. There we go. More editing options. So here's the clip I just added. If I want to shorten it, I can tap on it to highlight it and then drag the edges of the clip over. There's a little time stamp right here in the middle that shows me how many seconds long this clip is when I shorten it or lengthen it. And if I want to add a second clip to that, I'm going to hit this little button right here with the plus, the play plus sign. Go back to my album to post. And add the next clip. Say all I want of this is the first few seconds, so just up to that point. I'm going to scroll down on the bottom here for my tools, hit split, and then this whole extra part, I'm going to delete. So now I have 2 clips in my video. Uh-oh, disconnected. Because I don't know when I got disconnected, I'm going to show you guys that again. To make this clip shorter, to split it in half, I hit the split button, and then I can, whoopsies, delete. Oh, no, that's not. I can delete whichever one I don't want. If I want to add a third clip, I go right in here. I'm going to add this clip here. It really doesn't like that, does it? Yeah. All right. No. Technical difficulties. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to try one more time to see if this will let me do it. If not, I'm going to abandon this little video reel segment. But to add an audio to this one, now I'm going to tap add audio. And just the same as that photo, I went over to my saved, and I can choose from my saved audios. So I don't have to go searching for a new song every single time. So there's the song. I'm going to hit done. Go over to posting, and then the same exact method with the photo. I go back to my spreadsheet and I just copy and paste the caption that I already have written straight into this field here, and then go back down to my more options, schedule reel, and pick the same time. So this would be Tuesday at noon. Let's see if it'll let me do it. Here we go. And schedule. So this is how I go through and make an entire month's worth of posts in about just a couple hours. So I'll do this maybe 2 days out of a month, and I'll just sit down once I've gathered all my content and written all my captions. I decide what days they're going to post, and then it's just copy and pasting and scheduling. And then I can go about my rest of my business for the rest of the month and see my own posts as they go live. So when it comes to that date and time, Instagram will automatically post your post and it'll become live to your viewers. So let's see, let me go back to my scheduled. So now you can see I have the 2 scheduled posts in this field here. As they post, they'll come out of this and move on to my public profile. Now I'm going to move on to a slightly different topic. This is away from scheduling. I want to show you a brand new feature that Instagram just rolled out. I'm not even sure if every person has it yet or if it's been rolled out slowly to accounts, but it's something that's really beneficial, especially if you're a part of the Placer Artist Tour or if you are part of a gallery and they share posts promoting your art or any sort of cross promotion you're doing. There's a new way to repost posts on Instagram. And what that does is it takes a post from the person who originally posted it, and it also shares it to a separate page on your account, but it also shows it to all of your followers. So for me, I got really excited about this as, you know, I'm on the Placer Artist Tour and I saw that they are doing their artist posts. And I shared my post over to my page. So I'm on the Placer Artist Tour Instagram here. And every single one of these posts has this option. Then over here on mine, there's this new icon. So we have the likes here, we have the comments, and then this is the new one. This is the repost icon. If I unclick it, it's going to unrepost it. And if I click it, it puts my little profile picture, pops up on here, and I can add some text or a little emoji. So I wrote, "It's me." I was very excited. It's me. And then once anybody views this, they're going to see these 2 little icons. And if there's someone who follows me, they're going to recognize that. Or if they see other accounts that they follow, they're going to recognize that icon and say, "Oh, I know that person. They shared this." Now, if I also go over to so this is my profile on Instagram. These tabs here represent different pages. So this is my main profile grid. This is my reels where I just have videos. This is at the very end, my tagged posts. And now there's a new category for shared posts. So these are all the posts that I've shared and they're organized in one place. And this is viewable to the public. To anyone who can see my Instagram, they can see the posts I've shared. I don't know exactly how, but they also say that these posts are pushed out to your followers. So even though I'm following the Placer Artist Tour account and they're following me, if someone who's following me doesn't follow the Placer Artist Tour account, they're not necessarily going to see those posts. However, if I repost their account, now they will see that post. So it's a great new resource for collaboration. And I find that really to get the most out of Instagram, you have to collaborate and interact with other people on there. So that's something I wanted to point out to you. Another thing I wanted to point out was in one of the emails I sent. Again, since a lot of us in this meeting here are part of the Placer Artist Tour, I apologize if you aren't part of the Placer Artist Tour. You can sort of ignore this little rabbit hole. But I put together some of our graphics. Where am I going to go to that email? Excuse me while I navigate my computer. In your email, you should have Two separate files. This file here has them combined, but you have two separate files. One of them is the captions only. These are captions that talk about in first person, so you can change it if it doesn't sound like you. But these talk about your participation in the Placer Artist Tour. I have them labeled week 1, week 2, but there are no specific dates to post them. You can post these when it feels right to you, and you can copy and paste directly this text here. There are some areas of bold, which is intended for you to rewrite to be specific about your location on the tour, or to add more information about what your location has to offer. So those are here as a resource for you. And these go hand in hand with the images that I sent out of the graphics. So those, let's see, those are here. So you should have 5 captions and 5 graphics to go along with them. And these are formatted specifically for Instagram. Also with the captions, I know that it looks like a lot of text. Sometimes I cringe when I think about writing. It's not necessarily the most concise text. It is very repetitive. But the purpose of that is to get into that search engine optimization. The writing is not necessarily just for the reader. It's for the computer to analyze and organize it as well. So that's the reason for some of the really wordy text. I apologize, my dog is barking. Let's see. So that's another resource here for you. I wanted to share how I envisioned, she'll stop soon, how I envisioned these images being used. And in that, I'm going to go over, hopefully without my phone crashing again, how to make a carousel post. So that's posting with multiple images in one post. So go here. Going back to my folder to post. So if I start with week 1 here, which is this image, if I want to have more than just the single image in my post, I'm going to tap this little icon on the side. And it looks like a stack of squares is what it's trying to look like. That pulls up these little circles on all my pictures that show numbers. So now this says 1. This will be my first image in the carousel. The next ones, I'm going to select 2. That'll bring up the next image. And I can do up to 20, I believe now. I'm going to do just 3. Oops, accidentally did a 4th. So when I have my images selected, I'm going to hit next. And then it's going to show me the group of all the images that I selected together here. If I want to edit a specific image, I can do that at this stage. Sometimes you want to go in and fix the cropping. Let's see if it'll let me do that. Anyways, I'm controlling my phone with my computer mouse right now, so I'm not going to crop it, but I could here if I wanted to. So I'm going to add an audio. So I'm clicking this audio icon. I can choose, so the for you, it's just suggesting audio based on my previous preferences. Trending is going to be audio that's performing well on Instagram, though I recommend giving it a listen before you select it to see if it's something that represents you. And then of course my saved audios is like my little safe place where I know I've already pre-screened and these are ones that I like. So I'm going to select my audio and then go to next. And now from here, I'm going to go to my document of the tour captions that says captions only, and just copy and paste caption for week 1. Copy, paste. And I'm going to go back to my scheduler because this does sort of fit into my schedule, even though I decided to change the content. So I'm going to go, I did Monday, Tuesday, this will be Thursday, September 4th. And I will pick 3 p.m. So whoopsies. Oh, actually, that was a happy little accident. So I'm going to click tag people. And I can tag the Placer Artist Tour in this by clicking anywhere on this photo and starting to type out Artist Tour. And now I'm going to scroll down to more options. Schedule this post. Thursday at 4 p.m. And now that one is scheduled. So I go back to my schedule and I'm going to highlight the ones that I have completed so that I know this is where I've left off. And then I know when I come back to posting, the next post I want to create is a carousel with 3 to 10 pictures of my tools in my studio. And I want to write a caption about how I make my art. And I'm going to post it at 3 p.m. on Monday the 8th. And if I've already taken all the photos on my little checklist, I know that when I go to my phone, to the folder, I'm already going to be able to find those 3 to 10 photos. So again, instead of panicking every single day about what am I going to post, I'm able to sort of sit down and organize it. This also helps me if I'm working up to a certain event, I'll plug that in on my schedule. And then I'm sort of telling a full story, thinking about the whole story and the whole month as a narrative versus just day by day, trying to decide sort of in the moment what to post about. And let's see, from here, I'm going to start taking some questions. I know that that is a ton of information all given at you very quickly. So if you have any questions, now would be the time. You can, let's see, unmute yourself and go ahead and ask, or if you want to type something in the chat, I can read it out that way. Whatever you feel comfortable doing. Let's see. Oh, I will also point out Teresa, my gosh, what's wrong with me? Teresa pointed out in the chat that there are also graphics on the artist resource section of the placerartisttour.org website. And I will just show you because that is right here. So if you go to the website, and that is where I got some of the graphics from. It's all the way at the bottom, artist resources. And over here we have tour postcards and posters. And there are even more graphics here. If you know how to copy and paste images, you can go ahead and paste your photo. I love this one. That's really fun. And it's pretty easy to do the copy and paste on your phone. There's also some messaging here if you want to copy and paste this little message. You could also paste this into ChatGPT and say, this is the message I want to convey. Rewrite this in my voice or write this in 6 different ways so that you're not rewriting the same caption 6 times. There are more graphics and logos here. And let's see what else. Another question I see is approximately how long is each video post? I try to keep my videos, around 30 seconds or less. Instagram, they look at who views the first 3 seconds. So the most important part of your video is the first 3 seconds. You'll hear people refer to that as having a good hook. So a lot of videos will have text or something on the screen that takes up the first 3 seconds to keep you watching for the rest of the time. You can look and see on some of the analytics will show you how much of a video people watch. I'm not sure it'll show on my analytics, but we can try. And I find that people don't really watch more than 9 seconds unless it's really captivating. So this is my Instagram account. I'm going to view insights. Here I'm able to see my total watch time. So that's all the time accumulated that people have watched. It was 18 minutes. Let's see. Here's my retention rate. So this graph here is showing 100% of the viewers were there at the beginning. And by the end of the video, 17 seconds in, there were 19%. To me, I would consider that a good retention rate. Here's average watch time is 12 seconds. So I would consider that a good watch time. It's showing me who interacted, where in the video people liked it. So that's another useful graph. Instagram tends to roll out different features to different accounts. So if you're looking at my analytics and looking at yours and saying, why don't I have that? That's pretty normal. I manage multiple accounts, and not even all of the accounts that I manage, which are all under my same umbrella, they don't even all have the same analytics features or same features. So it's pretty normal for everyone's account to look somewhat different. So don't be alarmed if your whole thing looks different from me. Let's see, what other questions are we getting? How do you create a folder on your phone? I can show you how I do it on my phone. I have a Samsung, so lost audio. Let's see. Can everyone hear me okay? Oh, everyone's frozen. Am I still here?
We can hear you now, but you slowed way down and stopped there for a minute.
Okay. Everybody froze too, so that was it. Am I back?
Yeah.
All right.
You're back.
Okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
When I was kind of looking at this stuff, it always asks you, do you want to post on Facebook at the same time? So that's one question. And then just by clicking on stuff, I came to the Meta dashboard, which allows you to kind of generate or schedule posts for both platforms.
Yes.
And I wondered if you could just talk about that.
So I am really not a Facebook expert because I'm not a Facebook user. I do have a lot of my content just automatically shared to Facebook, and it just sort of sits there and people see it and interact with it. And most of the time I don't really know or notice. However, if I was more present over there, that would probably be a different story. It used to be that when you scheduled content to Instagram, so when you were pre-scheduling posts, you couldn't automatically share it to Facebook. You could only share it to Facebook when you were posting in the moment. However, I think they just updated that so that, oh, my phone is going crazy and then disconnect that. I believe they just updated that so that you can share to Facebook when you're scheduling. I say go ahead and automatically share. It doesn't really hurt to have it, in multiple places. And there was a second part to the question, but I forgot what it was.
The Meta dashboard.
I have learned to use Instagram through the Instagram platform, so that might be part of the influence as to why I find the Meta dashboard frustrating because it's a different interface.
Oh, can I jump in?
Yes, please.
So on Facebook, you can select to post to Instagram at the same time that you're posting on Facebook. And I schedule all of my posts, both my Instagram posts and my Facebook posts, usually through Facebook, through Meta. But I create different posts generally because the content is different and the sizing is different. So if I make a graphic, I use Canva also, then I'll resize it for Instagram because it's longer and skinnier. And so I can put maybe another line of text or zoom the photo bigger or whatever. Whereas Facebook posts are more horizontal. And also Facebook allows for more story, like you can have more words. I think on Instagram, my preference is to have it sort of short and to the point, with the image being the focus. So you can use either format to post to either place, but I tend to create separate posts for those two different places.
Yeah, I agree with the separate posts. I believe that, at least for me, they are two completely different audiences. And so they sort of serve two purposes. It would be like Disney Plus or the New York Times. And if you share one thing on the other, that audience might not respond to it. So you can automatically share, and it's not gonna, hurt anything, but it might not have the same response because it's not really tailored to the specific audience.
So Kellen, would you recommend not pushing these Instagram posts over to Facebook if you don't manage or use Facebook at all? Because I like you, I don't do anything with Facebook. I only do things with Instagram.
I would say if you're gonna only do one, pick one and tailor your content for that.
Yeah.
But I would also say if you're not going to post on Facebook at all, then you might as
Oh, I lost you on that last part.
well share some on it.
So just so you guys know, I use Facebook a lot personally for and I look at everybody's Instagram posts that get put onto Facebook. I do look at them.
Yeah.
I look at them on Facebook. I don't go to Instagram and look at them. So I would say, yes, you should push them there.
Yeah.
I see them more. I see them more there because I always forget that I even have Instagram. And so like I see all the placer artist tours Instagram posts on Facebook.
Yeah, as far as I know, I don't think there's a problem with sharing it both ways. What I think would drive me nuts personally is trying to create content that's tailored to both and do both at the same time. But I think I would pick one that you think your audience is primarily on, make your content tailored to that. And if it automatically shares on the other, that's fine too. That my unprofessional opinion.
Trissa and Kellen, do you guys have like a standard go-to image size that you would use for one platform or the other?
Well, it's different. They both use different sizes. Like that's
why I'm asking.
Facebook is horizontal. So it's really easy if you use an app like Canva, which is not very expensive. They have templates and you select, I'm making a Facebook post, and it shows you what size that needs to be. Or you say, I'm making an Instagram post, and it shows you what size that needs to be. So it really helps you, very easily.
So I have Canva up in this window. This is where I made the presentation today, is in Canva. It's also where I organized the graphics that I sent to you. And what she's talking about, if you create a new design and customize the size, of course it doesn't show up right here. Social media. This is going to show you, and this is also a great visual that shows the difference. So an Instagram post, the size that they want, like the actual pixel size, I'm not sure, but the ratio is is 4 to 5. So it's a slightly tall rectangle. Square also works really well because they kind of format back and forth between square and rectangle. However, if you have something that is a horizontal rectangle on Instagram, it in a lot of its viewer settings, it'll crop off the sides of your image. So sometimes it'll show the full image and sometimes it'll show it cropped off. So it's better to just stick to this sort of slightly taller rectangle. And then Facebook, you can do a more horizontal rectangle there. And then stories are a whole other story. There was one other thing I want to show you guys on Instagram really quick, if I can get my phone to reconnect. Just like we all are familiar with how Facebook shows its posts to more people based on the comments, and we've all heard about having 4 words or more in the comments and how that pushes the post out to more people. Well, Instagram has its own versions of this where it looks at the engagement that a post has and it judges how it's going to do in the future based on the engagement that it already has. So over here on my phone screen, I have an Instagram post. This is really important with the Placer Artist Tour Instagram or with any of our peers and colleagues. If we see their posts, these are some really easy ways to help boost the post for that person to get it seen by more people. You're going to click this icon. So over here on my phone screen, the little ribbon save icon, you click that. You probably won't even ever notice anything different in your account because this just gets put in a saved folder that you can access later. But what this is telling Instagram is that I liked this post so much that I want to save it and look at it over and over and over. And so it thinks, wow, it must be really great. I'm going to show it to more people. So really easy little trick. If you see a post, you just click that save button. Another thing it looks at is how many times it's been sent to other people. This is a huge thing on Instagram, is that they want to promote content that is shareable. So you see a lot of posts that'll say, send this to your one friend that loves cats. And, you know, it'll have 10,000 different sends or, you know, 14,000 likes. And what they're doing is they're really trying to capitalize on that people's urge to send that to that one friend. So what we can do to support each other and to promote posts during the tour is we can just send this, and I send it. I have different accounts. I send it to one of my other accounts. I never even open it. But maybe you have a buddy on the tour and you just send each other posts and you just know that, oh yeah, that's just that. We're just sending for the engagement, and you just sort of ignore those messages. But those are 2 ways on Instagram specifically that we can boost engagement with each other.
Does it matter if you send it to multiple people? Do you get more kudos, or it just has to be sent to one other account?
No, it counts how many individual accounts you send it to.
Okay, thanks.
And I would make sure that you get consent from the people you're sending it to. That's so they know. So they know. They're like, why are you spamming me? But it is also great. Teresa is volunteering herself as tribute. You can send her all the posts. All right, you can send them to me too. I'll ignore you. All right. I mean, we still have some time for questions.
I have sort of a general question, which I'm not sure is worth asking, but
it's all worth it.
You know, you're taking pictures, you're gathering resources every month of your studio, of yourself working, blah, 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 blah. Every single month, you're looking for a different angle on this, looking for different images. And I'm assuming in wherever you keep your photos, you have folders for this or something, but
yes,
this really adds up over time, all these pictures. Do you
yeah.
do anything to organize them? Do you get rid of them eventually? Do you, like, I just find sometimes the photo stream to be unmanageable.
Yeah, so it is, and I don't have a good answer for that. I have everything synced to my Google Drive, so I've maxed out my storage multiple times and just made new Google accounts to remedy that. So I do try to go through and organize and delete, but I also, this doesn't really answer or solve the solution of too many photos, but you can repost the same thing many times. So what I'll do, and I'll see, I've kind of abandoned it halfway through the year here. But I sat down at the beginning of the year and created a full like marketing calendar to visualize what I wanted to post throughout the whole year. And in thinking of that, you know, it's 12 months. There may be 12 different stories I want to tell over those 12 months about me and my art and what I'm doing. And a lot of those stories overlap and they can use the same images. And same with my, you know, my art inventory. Just because a painting was made, you know, 5 years ago at this point, I still own it. I still want to share it. I still want to sell it. That image doesn't need to be retaken every single month. So I don't have to be taking new photos every month. I'm reposting a lot of the same things. So I'm over here, if you scroll through my Instagram. So I got a little sidetracked on my personal account. I talk a lot of what I'm talking about is like theory, like Instagram theory. And then in practice, it gets a little bit sloppy because I get sidetracked and start posting different things daily. But when I have a really solid plan, you'll see that I incorporate old images along with new images of my work. Did I freeze again? Everybody else looks very slow. Oh no, okay. Let's see if I can find you're getting an inside look at my Google Sheets. It's not organized. This was my big plan for the year. This is my marketing calendar, and I went in and I put, you know, all the events for the year to get an idea of what needed to be, you know, talked about, and then what I planned to make throughout the year. So what I'm currently making in my studio. And then that gives me an idea of what I'm going to be posting about each year. So I came up with a monthly theme for my Instagram every month of the year. Did I stick to it? Absolutely not. But thinking about it in chapters instead of every single day helps me not feel overwhelmed with the amount of content. I do like this idea Teresa wrote in the chat, folders by month posted to IG. It was a great idea. There definitely are ways to be organized. I'm the wrong person to ask for that. Any other questions? I'm reading through the chat to see if anything I missed.
I figured out how to create a folder on my phone, so.
Oh, good. Oh, and let me show you. So any question that I've heard it said that ChatGPT is not a search engine, but it is really good at answering questions. So if you have a question about any of this, ask ChatGPT. If you can't remember how to make a carousel post or what a carousel post is, ask ChatGPT and they'll usually come up with either a resource or an answer. You don't need to say please and thank you though to the chat. Every single word that you type is like 10,000 trees that get cut down. So no please and no thank you. And what other questions?
Could you, I'm just a little slower than you are.
It's a lot.
Exponentially, actually. But could you go over the creating the video clips and how to trim them again? What icons?
Try it. What kept happening is the phone kept disconnecting while I was doing it. So we can attempt it and see if it will let me. But let's see. It did not like to do that.
Would you suggest clipping them before you store them, or waiting when you're in the Instagram to clip them?
That's a great question, and it's probably mostly personal preference. You have an app in your phone gallery where you can edit your videos. So I'm in my phone gallery. Again, everyone's is going to be different, so it's hard to say. And it's really about what interface, what tools you find easier. So if you look at this and you're like, I love how clean and simple this looks, and I can't figure out the Instagram, then edit in your gallery app. If you like the Instagram better, edit in Instagram. I know people who edit in the TikTok app and then post on Instagram. They never post it TikTok, but they like their editing software. So it's a little bit trial and error. What I do really recommend is when you're taking the video, try to take the video in a way that you'll have to do the least amount of editing. So in my phone is full of 6-second long videos, because if I took a video that was 5 minutes long, I'm gonna have to go through and clip it and take things out. So the shorter the clips to begin with, the easier it is to add them together versus subtracting. I sort of answered the question without really answering it. Let me see if the Instagram will agree with us. So I just super quickly, I went in and I create new post, go to reel, I'm tabbing recents and going to all albums to find my little folder I made to post.
So is that a folder in Instagram, or is that a folder
in my phone? This is in my phone gallery. So I'm going to back step to answer that question. So on my phone, if I open my camera and I take a picture, it automatically saves it to the gallery. Also on my phone, whatever default gallery app I have. So I have this folder. This is just every picture I've taken. And when I was organizing for my content checklist, instead of taking all new photos, I just went through my phone gallery of what I already had. And I hold down on the image to select it. So you see a little check mark pops up. And I selected the images that I wanted. And then down at the bottom, I have an option for, oh, right over here, option for plus, nope, I don't know what that is. I'm gonna go to more, move to album. And then at the very top, I can create new album, and I can write, content, create.
Are you in Instagram or your gallery right now?
This is my gallery right now.
Yeah, so this is the equivalent of photos on the iPhone.
Exactly, yes, yes. So now I have that separate folder. So now I'm in Instagram. I'm going back, start over. Instead of having to scroll through my entire camera roll every single time I open Instagram and I'm trying to find a picture, it could be from, 2 years ago. That's why I have the folders. So here I can look at my recents. This is just everything in my camera roll. And there's this little button at the top. I'll sort of circle it with my mouse. This is how I'm changing the folder down in Instagram. Instagram is accessing my camera roll. This is part of my app permissions. You can view all albums. And this is Instagram now looking inside of my phone to access my photos. And here's my folder that I made. I don't need to make a separate folder. The only reason I have the folder is because my camera roll, it looks like this. There are 100 pictures of my cat.